Move on to 2023-01-05, and I want to make a correction on that too. It should, in the second line, say met this 23rd day of January 2023. Going to be introduced by Commissioner Barker.
And the Honorable Martin DeWitt, Chairman and members of the Hawkins County Board of Commission, regular session at this 23rd day, December 2023.
January.
Oh, January. I paid closer attention.
That's okay.
Resolution and records, purchase of the real estate in Churchill, Tennessee using ARPA grant funds. Whereas Hawkins County office holders, including the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, Hawkins County Clerk, Hawkins County Juvenile Court, Hawkins County Clerk, and the Hawkins County trustees are currently occupying space in what is known as the City County Building in Churchill, Tennessee. And whereas a lease agreement dated August 19th, 1975, Hawkins County became a tenant in said building owned by Churchill and responsible for the 50% of the cost of operation of the building and 100% of all major capital repairs and maintenance, which would be a significant expenditure currently. Whereas through negotiations between Hawkins County and Churchill, the Churchill Board of Mayor and Aldermen have indicated they are willing to assume all costs of said building and allow Hawkins County to move its offices elsewhere, creating more and safer space for the Churchill and for Hawkins County. Whereas Thread Bank, formerly known as Civis Bank, has offered their unused building and associated property at 150 Central Avenue, Churchill, Tennessee. Map 0448, B parcel 003.00, with a total tax appraisal of $1.61 million to Hawkins County for the sum of $555,000. And whereas the property inspection by Bentley and Associates was conducted December 28, 2022, a summary of the findings which is attached to this resolution along with estimates of immediate necessary repairs. And whereas Hawkins County desires to purchase the above named property for occupancy by and use of the above named office holders, their staff using funds from the County American Rescue Plan Act proceeds now. Therefore, be it resolved that the Hawkins County Commission meeting in regular session on Monday, January the 23rd, 2023, hereby authorize the purchase and direct the Hawkins County Mayor to execute all necessary documents pursuant thereto. Therefore, be it resolved that the approval be given to the following budget amendments to the other special revenue funds 128 ARPA. Special revenue funds 128 ARPA increase in description $550,000 for 7901 American Rescue Plan Act grant, increase of $550,000 of capital outlay. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
All right, motion has been made by Commissioner Barker, seconded by Commissioner Kern. Commissioner Klontz, you're on the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't wish to speak for or against the resolution. I just want to be sure that we're all on the same page and understand if we vote for this, buying this building tonight, what the results will be. We had a workshop on December the 8th, and we made a outline of a budget, and that outline left a deficit of $507,000 to be taken, still to be taken off of that preliminary budget. Now, we will have to add another $100,000 to that, so that's going to be like $600,000 we're going to have to take from this page right here. I hope every commissioner has seen it. So what that's going to do is going to eliminate any contributions to nonprofits and probably do away with water projects on New Selden and Peach Hill Road. So I just want everybody to understand that's where we're at on that and what the results will be. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Commissioner Klontz, I want to respond to that briefly. Those numbers on that paper are not set in stone. If you look at the top of that column, it says suggested.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to go $500,000 in debt on those things. So
no, I understand
there
that.
will have to be some things moved around, but I don't want anybody to think that those numbers are set in stone and we're going to go in debt to purchase this building. Anybody else want to speak?
No, we're not going to go in debt, but we're going to have to eliminate contributions.
Okay, I
That
understand.
we placed on there. Yes, sir.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Go ahead, Mr. Gill.
One question I have regarding the property around the building that, you know, has been said we might be able to sell or whatnot. Have we been able to have anybody in, like a realtor or anyone take a look at that and give us an estimate of average time on the market for properties such as that, what they're bringing or anything, any kind of data around that?
Doing our due diligence on that, we have asked a realtor to take a look at it from up that way. He has not responded yet. I can tell you that as a comp, the urgent care that's right there close for 0.9 of an acre, spent $250,000 on that. I can't speak to how long it was on the market, but we have a couple of pieces that are pretty close to an acre that could go on the market. Does that answer your question?
It does, thank you, sir. And one other comment that I would like to make is, you know, I don't want it to be, I think we've created a little bit of a false dichotomy, meaning that there's only two options. We either buy this building or we stay in the building we're in forever and remain at risk of, you know, the ADA regulations being violated and the other barriers that this building apparently creates for our employees and such. You know, I intend to vote against this as I did in the committee due to, I'm afraid that we are going to end up spending a lot more than we intend to, and time will tell if that's true or not. But that does not mean that I think that we should just stay in this building that we're in and never seek other options. But I think that that there may be other options out there. I don't have one proposed to you tonight, of course. But I do think that there could be other options out there that could be more cost effective for the county, both initially and long term. So that's why I intend to vote against this tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I clarify something?
Sure.
I'm not opposed to buying the building, as I said the last time.
I understand it.
I just want people to understand how we're gonna get funded and what it's gonna cost us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Stanley, did you want to talk about the building?
Yes.
Come on up front, please. Yeah, and we're gonna do 3 minutes, please.
Do you want us to do it?
I got it.
Okay. Josh spoke a lot of the reasons that I'm against the building. I'm not against if you have to leave that building rather than putting a $400,000 elevator in there, that you should stay. But I think there would be better options. I don't understand the rush of let's do this, do this, do this. I also, Mr. Klontz, if you buy this bank for $550, I read the report. I've talked to, I'm not gonna say her name, there's back taxes due on this building, the roof's gotta be done, the heating unit. I read the whole report, the air conditioning unit, all the renovations. This building is gonna be an astronomical amount, close to $1 million, in my opinion. I mean, look at the renovations that we're paying for over here at the annex. I feel we need to slow down and find a better option for the people, if that's what you're gonna do anyway. Also, I'm more upset because if we go ahead and do this, there's not gonna be anything left. And you all know, I'm a big supporter of the Humane Society. You know, at the last meeting, I was so disheartened. Only 3 people voted to help the Humane Society to push that resolution on. They begged and begged for years. This is a one-time thing for them. This is not a yearly thing or anything. I mean, y'all visited up there. The tile's coming up from the floor. You know what? They don't have any room. The building was a mechanic shop. And then when I called some commissioners, they said, well, we need to take care of our people rather than take care of animals. How are you taking care of the people? Putting a new roof on that's got a 5-year warranty, annexing, doing, renovations. There's gotta be a stopping point and to actually help people that need it. If we didn't have the Humane Society and y'all had to put in a county shelter, which I don't even know if y'all agree to that or not. The insurance, the overhead that you guys would have would be astronomical. They handle that themselves with donations and fundraising. And it's just, that's my opinion, and I'm not gonna, I hope that you understand where I'm coming from, But I mean, I've talked to people today, the back taxes on that building alone are 9,000 something.
I'll interject right there. The back taxes for 2022, they'd be the responsibility of the owner of the building in 2022.
Okay.
We don't pay taxes on our own properties.
Okay,
That's misinformation.
okay, okay. All right.
All right, thank you. All right. Catherine Bailey, do you have anything significant to add to that? We don't want to be redundant on this.
I have a lot to add to it.
Make sure it's something she didn't already mention.
Oh, trust me. Josh asked if if there's been anybody done any real estate. I done 3. Blue Ridge Properties, Carol Elder, and R&R Realty out in Austin. They all 3 looked at it. You know what all 3 of them said? We won't sell them. They said there's probably sitting there right now, Walgreens can't even get rid of their spot. The reason that sold over where it was because it's in the shopping center. Now, with that being said, it is an eyesore up there. We bought, the county commission, they some sitting here, they rushed and bought the Kmart building for a justice center. We would have been better off to build a justice center, ground up. As we know, 19 years or so, that's been a money pit. Every year, it's give money in because it's going, something's wrong. They're better off starting, you know better than anybody to build a house. You're cheaper to build a house than you are to remodel a house because you find all kinds of rats in it when you get in. Now, Knox County, Hamilton County, Sullivan County, another county around, got satellite buildings. They don't own them. They rent them. They rent them on ground floors for people to get in and out. It's good enough for them counties. Why are we taking $9,800 out of the tax revenue every year that they pay taxes on? Then, if it just costs us $9,000 a year to operate that, it's costing taxpayers $18,900 to operate a year. That's taxpayer money that we don't have. We're $100 million in debt right now. And the last time I heard, one bank refused to renew the loan, and we had to go to another bank. How you gonna pay that when it come in the paper the other day? We're $11 million in a deficit this coming budget. That's without anything else coming up, instead of putting another building onto the taxpayers. The taxpayers can't make, we're 5,000 less people now than was the last census. All the young people are moving out of this county. Why? Taxes, services, and everything else. No jobs. We got a failing industry commission. I blame that all back on the failing industrial commission, industrial committee, and the mayor of past, not going out and recruiting. Hamilton County just opened up another big plant last Wednesday, Greenworks, another 275 jobs going to work. We're losing the plant, TRW, and guess what? Nobody can, nobody talking about it. TRW is trying to sell herself. Our industrial board is too busy going to meet with people to sleep. We've got to stop buying property. We're not in the business of buying property. It's a funny thing, 4 months ago, there was nothing ever said about needing a building. Nothing. Last commission never heard. Talked to a bunch of them. You notice I posted on Facebook. On my
I have to
blog.
ask you to wrap up, Mr.
Okay,
Bailey.
I posted on Facebook, my rifle. 3 different posts. One post had 87 people, the other had 57 and 62.
I have to ask you to wrap up.
All of them said no. I asked you as a taxpayer of Hawkins County to vote no. Let's look for an alternative this like Hamilton County. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We've got Commissioner Palmer on the board now.
Thank you, Mark. One thing I would like to point out, we're in a rock and a hard place. We have the funds and the ARPA money to purchase the equipment and make our renovations if we choose to use it out of this pot of money. The flip side of this, we also know renovations that have to be done to a building that we do not own. A parking lot that we don't even know can be fixed. At the end of the day, if we can't fix the parking lot, we're gonna have to put another means of accessibility into this city council. And I believe Mr. Hickson said 400,000 from an elevator to Cherokee.
Years ago.
Exactly.
That was 5 years ago.
5 years ago, and we know prices are not the same as they were 5 years ago. This decision is not gonna be easy, but we also have to remember, we're putting money into someone else's building that we do not own.
Commissioner Maddox, you.
Very well. What's changes, going back to the building committee and meeting with the gentleman over the bank and doing some more, see if they will drop the price on it. Are you allowed to do that? Am I speaking out of the way or anything like that?
Well, in anticipation of that question, I talked with the representative from Fed Bank today. Number one, we, in good faith, made them an offer. I know it wasn't, an official sealed and signed, sealed, delivered offer, but we made them an offer. They started out, that bank building started out on the market at $655,000. They offered it to us for $585,000. We countered at $550,000. And the representative from the bank said that was the negotiation and that's where they're gonna stay.
So they're not going to budge.
No.
Well, I may be out of line, Mayor, just saying this. If I am, please correct me, because it's, I rely on y'all. I'm gonna make a motion, if I'm allowed to send us back to the budget committee and have them come back and negotiate the price on this, because we're gonna spend a lot of money. And, I don't wear.
Commissioner Maddox, they have said firmly that they are not gonna negotiate the price.
Mr. Chairman, it's kind of point of order though, he did make a motion, it was a duly made motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to send it back to the budget committee for renegotiations. Do we have a second? Is that a second, Commissioner Gillum?
No, I just want to speak more.
Okay, that is second, Commissioner Vaughn.
Yes, it is.
All right, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. You all ready for a vote?
No, it's second.
And I'm not trying to make anybody mad, I just try to do what I need to.
Can I make a comment on this motion?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate you thinking this way and wanting to do this, Commissioner Maddox. And what I would tell you, based off what the mayor, has said, if they're saying this is their price, and I trust that the mayor's been upfront with us, and that it probably is, they're not gonna budge, right? So I think at this point, it's really just, if we send it back to budget committee, I'm not sure that we're gonna make a lot of headway if they've told the mayor we're not gonna budge. So I think that we have to trust what the mayor's telling us. This is the price, this is bottom dollar, and you're either comfortable with the price or not, and if you're not, that's why I'm voting no against the resolution in general. I don't think that sending it back to budget would probably do much good.
Okay, Mayor, I will rescind, if I can, I will rescind.
Okay. We're gonna pull that motion. Now they have to regroup again. While they're doing that, is there any further discussion on the original resolution? Commissioner Roach.
I guess the only question that I have is that, so there is a little road that goes in front of that building. If you look at it on the real estate assessment data website, which is not always the most accurate, but that little road, and I can't remember the name of it, it's something court.
Yep.
Would that be the county's responsibility to maintain that section of roadway?
No, that's deeded by a easement to the folks that own the Food Line Center, and they maintain that road.
I guess my last question, Mr. Mayor, it's like I've said along the way, I feel like I've had a lot of critical questions about the purchase of this building. I'm not 100% in favor of it. Matter of fact, I opposed it early on, and as we've gone along, I've learned more. I see the need for it. However, I guess my question is, if we were to vote against this as a commission tonight, would the mayor's office or the commission in general seek out other opportunities to move county offices from the city-county building? I mean, like I say, because we know we've not been ADA compliant for a long time. We know we've needed something else for a while. So I think we all agree there's a need, even with the public that's spoken tonight, they agree that there's a need. It's just, if this strategy fails tonight, I guess my question is, are we going to look for another option?
Well, I would assume we would. I have done some looking around. I haven't seen anything else that would be acceptable, except for, in size-wise, except for the building that Commissioner Barrett talked about. And I was in on some discussions that building, whatever the price would be, we would put way more money in it than we would in this. And that's just my opinion. I haven't, put pencil to paper and said this is exactly what it would be. But I don't know of any other space up there. Commissioner Kern, do you?
No, sir. So I guess my last question is Commissioner Barker, and Commissioner Barker's been a great mentor to me. Do you believe, you're the sponsor of the resolution, do you believe this is the best deal the commission can get to solve the problem?
Yes, I do, for several reasons. The ADA thing, we've already talked about, $400,000 to put an elevator in there. We're gonna have to do something. We brought it out to the public. They don't even have to go up there and get hurt. All they gotta do is drive by, say you're not ADA compliant, and they can sue the county.
And there has been a complaint. In 2018, there was a complaint.
Okay, so we already have one complaint. The HVAC system, same thing, and we talked about the HVAC system there. The HVAC system in that building's gonna have to be replaced, that's our responsibility. The windows in the building's gonna have to be replaced.
The one that we're in now.
Yes.
The city county.
Yes, they're using an air conditioner, they don't even have air conditioning in the building unless they use an air conditioner that's put in a window. And the other thing, I think the key thing that we're not even considering is the safety of those employees up there. And we talked about it, someone made a statement that this had never been brought up. It has been brought up time and time and time again, but it always got pushed to the side. And they've had incidents up there where the safety of those employees are jeopardized. They have no way to get out of the building. And so I think, when you look at all the negative things about the building, that you gotta go back and look at what are the positive things. If we can get this building, it's on the ground. I think Mr. Barrett said it had 23 parking places. I don't think at any given day or time that you're gonna need 23 parking places. We don't have 23 parking spaces out here. So, you got, 3 employees, Nancy?
Yes.
So they're gonna use 3, so there's 20 parking spaces available at all times. And in my opinion, it's the best deal that we're gonna get. I mean, we can look around and maybe, if the bottom falls out of the world, which they're saying it's going to, if something don't happen, then we might pick up a building cheap. But that's a big if. And while you're thinking about that if, you need to think about those employees at her office that's jeopardized.
Last thing, Mr. Chairman, how long did the building sit on the market before an offer was made by county government?
I don't have an answer to that, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's it for me.
Mr. Palmer?
This question for Nancy. I believe we spoke very briefly. Do you have the percentage of the county business that you handle through your satellite office? And the second part of this question is, if this was not, if we did not have a satellite office, could you handle that amount of business added on to the one here in Rogersville?
I'll answer the second question first. In the current Rogersville location in the annex building, I don't know where I would put the other 3 employees. And with the foot traffic we have here in Rogersville, I don't know where we would put all the people that come in the office to register vehicles or marriage license, business license. So no, there's not room. And 2, I did look up the numbers the other day. I think I'm correct. From July 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022. So the first 6 months of the fiscal year, we did 43% of our transactions at the Churchill location. Now I do all my bookkeeping in Rogersville, so I have additional employees down here. But 43% of the transactions we did went through the Churchill location.
Anything else, Mr. Palmer?
No, sir.
All right, Commissioner Plum.
We don't have any idea what it costs to purchase a piece of land and build a whole new building, do we? I assume it'd be prohibitive, but we don't do it.
Well, using an average on a commercial building of $300 a square foot, we would be significantly over. If we even tried to replace exactly what's there, we would be significantly over. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, let's vote.
Nine yes, 4 no, 1 abstain.
All right, motion carries. Thank you all.